Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
Houston, I'm ready for the event.
Slover Library, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
Station, this is Slover Library. How do you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear. I'd like to welcome everyone to the International Space Station.
All right, thank you, Nick, and welcome to Virginia. My name is Mallory Dudley, and I'm here with over 250 students, as well as staff and community leaders from all over Hampton Roads. We're also representing libraries and schools nationwide today through the Star Library Network. Earlier today, our guests here were able to participate in some of the over 500 programs that Slover Library offers its community each quarter. Now that we have all been inspired by space exploration and STEM learning, we are ready to ask you our first question.
I'm ready. Fire away.
Hi, my name is Brandon, and my question is, how fast does a rocket launching to the International Space Station go? What does it feel like during a launch?
So it feels like riding a really long, really fast roller coaster. And you get pressed back into your seat, and you feel about 4 times your normal weight. 4 Gs is how we quantify it. In terms of speed, speed is everything to getting to orbit. To be on orbit, we have to be 17,500 miles an hour. So that's a really big number. What does that mean? It means we're going up here on the space station about 25 times the speed of sound. You know, if I was going to put that in something that everyone can relate to, the distance from Norfolk to Washington, D.C. is just over 200 miles. So it might take you 4 hours to do that in a car. In the space station, we can do that in less than a minute.
Wow. All right. Next question.
What do I say? Ready? Now?
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Paige, and this question is from the St. Johns County Public Library System in Florida. Are your dreams on a space station affected by weightlessness? Do you dream that you're in a weightless environment?
Yeah, you know, I dream about life that surrounds me, and so when I'm dreaming, I'm thinking of the things that happen during the day and the things that are going to happen, and everything around me floats, and so it's natural that in my dreams things float now. But one of the most surprising things I've realized is right before I fall asleep, when it's really dark in my crew quarters and my eyes are closed and all I can see is the dark. Every now and then I'll get a little flash of light when a little piece of radiation hits my eye and causes my optic nerve to fire off. So I see these little flashes of light every night before I go to sleep, and that was something that surprised me up here.
Wow.
Hi, my name is Adair. My question is, how do you drink liquids on the space station in microgravity? Can you show us?
You know, it's really hard to control water. You've spent your whole life knowing exactly what water wants to do. Water wants to go downhill. So if you pour it into a glass, it stays into a glass. Up here, it doesn't do that. Up here, water wants to float around just like everything else wants to float around. So we have to put it in special drink bags. So we fill up water inside these bags, and we hook a straw to it so that the water doesn't go everywhere. If I come a little closer, I'll show you what happens to the water if it comes out of the straw and we don't go straight into our mouth. It just wants to float there. It just wants to float there. So as you can imagine, a bunch of astronauts sitting around having dinner, we like to play with our food and we like to play with our drinks.
Yeah.
It still tastes good, though.
Hi, my name is Jackson, and this question is from the Harris County Public Library in Texas. Are there plans to colonize the moon? Will the space station be base camp?
You know, that's a really great question. And the reason it's so great is because we're right at the start of pushing in that direction. So I don't know if you're familiar with the Artemis program, but that is our stated goal, NASA's goal, to get back to the moon in the next 5 years. So we're going to land the first woman and the next man on the surface of the moon in 5 years. And that's just the beginning. And then we'll continue to have a sustained presence as the program continues. So we're right at the start of it. You know, in fact, right now I'm in the U.S. laboratory on the space station. And around me are all kinds of experiments and all kinds of equipment. And just above me right here is one of the pieces of equipment that we're testing out on the space station with hopes of using it for the Gateway, which is going to be the space station that kind of goes around the moon. And it'll be our base camp when we're going down to the surface of the moon. So we're already testing the hardware to figure out exactly how it works and to make sure it works for the crews that are headed to the moon.
Hi, my name is Raquel, and my question is, how long will you be on the space station?
So my full-length mission is 203 days, so that's about almost 7 months. And I've been up here a little over 5 months, so I'm probably, you know, two-thirds of the way, three-quarters of the way through my mission right now. I've been up here long enough that it starts to feel normal. The first few weeks that I was up here, the first few months, things were different and strange because everything floated and kind of moved around on its own. But now I've adapted to that, and my body's adapted to being in microgravity, and now it just feels like everyday life.
Hi, my name is Precious, and this question is from the Monmouth Public Library in Oregon. Can you contact your family while you're in space? How often?
Absolutely. It's super critical to be able to talk to your family and loved ones and your friends on the ground in order to maintain that connection, because just because we're going on a long mission to space doesn't mean that our family, that we can sever those ties. We want to know what's going on in the lives of the people that are important to us. So I get to talk to my family once a week in a video conference where they can see me and I can see them, and I can talk to my kids and see how their week is going. And I know right now they're getting excited because school starts next week in Texas, and I'm sure some of you are getting excited for school as well. And then I get to call on the phone every now and then. So it's important to maintain that psychological support when you're in a remote, isolated place like this.
Hi, my name is Daniel, and my question is, what is the hardest part about becoming an astronaut?
You know, there's lots of interesting aspects of becoming an astronaut, but I think that the hardest part is something that's common to everyone's life. If you have a dream, you try to pursue that dream, and it's not always going to be easy, and you're going to face challenges along the way. And so the hardest part about achieving my dream of making it to space was overcoming the challenges. You know, I applied to become an astronaut 3 times, and it took 10 years to finally get selected by NASA to be part of the astronaut corps. You know, and even then, it's hard along the way. My first attempt to launch into space, actually the rocket disintegrated while we were on our way to orbit, and we had to abort from that launch vehicle. So you're going to face challenges throughout your life when you try to go and pursue your dreams. And I guess my advice to everyone out there that's listening is, it's not always going to be easy, but if you stay committed and work hard, you can achieve your dreams.
Hi, my name is Joel, and my question is, are there dogs or other pets on the space station?
You Unfortunately, we don't have pets on the space station, but we do have lots and have had lots of living creatures. We're up here trying to research what happens to humans, what happens to animals, what happens to plants when they're exposed to the microgravity environment, because it really does change how your body works, how organisms behave. And so we've had mice and fish and spiders and all kinds of animals, and we've studied how microgravity affects their bodies. And I'm actually part of a couple dozen different experiments where scientists are taking measurements of me to try to figure out how space is affecting me.
Hi, my name is Cora, and my question is, how do you garden in space?
I mentioned psychological support, and we talked earlier about going to the moon and how, the moon is our stepping stone to Mars. So gardening is very important for both of those reasons. When we start to go deeper into space, we're going to need to be able to grow some of the food so that we can sustain ourselves. We may not be able to pack enough food for the entire mission. So we're going to have to grow some along the way. And gardening also provides some psychological support, because it's a great way to just improve your quality of life around you. And so on the space station, we're experimenting with that. And we have a facility, our veggie growth facility, that we grow lettuce and different types of plants and try to figure out how to harvest it, because on orbit, I showed you how my drink bag, how the water just kind of floats around. So the big question is, how do I get the water to the roots of the plant? When it rains on the ground, the water just soaks into the ground because gravity pulls it down. Up here, it doesn't happen that way. And so we have to figure out how to solve that problem.
Hi, my name is Abriana, and this question is from the Oldham County Public Library in Kentucky. What kind of personal items can you take into space? We'd bring books and an iPad.
We do get to take some personal items into space. A lot of those things are things that help us stay, for me, they were things that reminded me of my loved ones on the ground, things that reminded me of my wife or my sons or my family. Among those things, one of the things I brought up with me was a book. And, just doing things that you do on the ground up here on orbit helps you feel like, things are, your day is a little bit normal because you're doing something that's similar. And so I know that you guys have had a reading program over the summer. And, we also support a reading program called Storytime here on orbit. And just want to, quickly say that books are important because they are how we continue to learn. And your learning process happens your whole life. We also don't just have books. We also bring up iPads so that we can read books on these as well.
Hi, my name is Savannah, and my question is, what is the most amazing thing that you have seen from the space station?
I've talked about a lot of amazing things, flashes in my eyes or watching things float around me all the time. One of the things I haven't mentioned yet is being able to look out the window. When you look out the window, the Earth slowly glides by, and you can see so much of it at the same time. I can almost see from Canada to Mexico all in one view. And to be able to take in all of those features and know, where family live on the ground and see the mountain ranges and the deserts and the rivers and how they all connect, and see that we're part, humans are part of the living terrain of the Earth. We're part of that gigantic organism. And it's awe-inspiring, it's breathtaking, it makes you think about so many different things. And I go down to the cupola and look out the window every day.
Hi, my name is Tremont, and this question is from the Galilei Library in New Jersey. Do you keep the same schedule on the space station as you have on Earth, or do you change it?
You know, when we're on the space station, there's 6 of us. But on the ground, there's a massive team that's spread across the entire globe. You know, more than 100,000 people on the ground are supporting the 6 of us up here so that we can do our mission. And so it's not just us. So we have to have some type of day to synchronize everyone that's working around the globe in all the different countries that support on this international team. And so we pick Greenwich Mean Time to synchronize everybody's clock. So we wake up at 6, or I wake up at 6 a.m. every day to start my day and get ready. And then we start work at 7:30 in the morning, Greenwich Mean Time. We work all day, and then we end the day at 7:30 at night with a conference with all the control centers on the ground to get ready for the next day. And then we repeat. And then, you know, on the weekends, we do have a little bit of downtime, which is where I find a lot of time to go look at the look out the window and enjoy the special features of being in space.
Hi, my name is Mackenzie, and my question is besides Earth. What is your favorite planet and why?
That's a tough question because Earth, the view from up here, Earth is without doubt an amazing planet. But I think for me, because we're starting to take our steps into space and we're getting ready to go back to the moon. And from the moon, we're going to go forward and we're going to go to Mars. And so I think that Mars has a special quality about it because that's our next objective. You know, we're going to go to the moon, we're going to have a sustained presence there, and the Artemis program is going to take us to there. But everything that we're going to learn there, we're going to be able to apply as we push on to Mars. And so I think Mars is a special place.
Hi, my name is Henry, and this question comes from the St. Johns County Public Library system in Florida. Can you get sick in space? Are there different germs than on Earth?
You know, you can get sick in space, and so we do lots of things to make sure that we don't. Prior to launching, we actually go into quarantine where they limit who we can have contact with so that if I was sick, I'd have enough time to get healthy before I launched into space. And so we minimize the number of germs that we bring up to the space station. And so I've been up here for over 5 months, and I haven't been sick yet because of the excellent work that the team on the ground does to keep us healthy.
Hi, my name is Scarlett, and my question is, how long does it take for you to recover after a mission?
You know, after the mission, it's about 45 days of rehabilitation. So, you know, I'm up here and I really don't have to really exert myself in order to move around. I just kind of float, just like that water. And so my muscles and my bones and my body start to become weak. And so we have to work out really hard up here 2 hours a day, every day, in order to counteract that. But even with all of that, I have to get back down on the ground and readapt. And that readaptation takes anywhere from a few weeks to a month and a half. And then even some of those changes to my body will continue for months, if not upwards of a year after I land. So it's a long process of recovery after we land.
Hi, my name is Trayvana, and this question is from the Newcastle County Library in Delaware. What are the toughest or most dangerous things you have to do while on the space station?
You know, so around us, there are all kinds of things that we do that involve risk. One of the ones that stands out in my mind in terms of just how special of an experience it is, but it's also a very serious job that we do, is doing spacewalks. And in fact, I just spent the better part of 3 hours in our airlock preparing all the tools that we're going to need to be able to go out and do a spacewalk in about a week and a half. And going out there as in a spacesuit, as kind of your own satellite. I've got everything I need with me. I'm out there and I've got my wingman, and they're right there with me working through our problems, and we've got the team on the ground connected to us through the radio, working in the vacuum of space, all at the same time while we're surrounded by the stars above us and the Earth below us. It's just a spectacular experience.
All right, Nick, it looks like that's the last question we have. On behalf of all of us here at Slover Library and the Star Library Network, we thank you for your time. And the rest of our question givers just want to say goodbye to you.
Well, thank you all so much for your questions. I really appreciate spending the time with you, and thank you for all you've done to share this awareness with all the other libraries.
Engines throttling up.
Here you guys go.
Station, this is Houston ACR. Thank you. That concludes our event.
Thank you to all participants from Slover Library. Station, we are now resuming operational audio communications.